Hard to believe. All right. Hey, Fish, we are live. We're going to be talking about hunting whales with Las Vegas's Captain Ahab. Legendary casino host Steve Sear is the author of the book Whale Hunting in the Desert. We're going to talk about gambling, high rollers, and the new Las Vegas. Hardline has netted some big bets for you in the NBA Finals and the NHL playoffs. Heidi's Hollywood is binging a film made back in 2010 that was clairvoyant about today's social media. And Fish, I don't think Zuckerberg's going to like what we say. Schmuck of the Week is a politician who seems to make pronouncements out of anger, and who's got the swag is someone who turned her life around by shedding pounds thanks to an airline. Something Fishy asks, what's in a name? And the Grind explores why visiting teams have more fans than the home teams. And we also look at the complex controversy that could upset men's pro golf coming out of Saudi Arabia. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Daily Fish. John Daly here with Eric Snyder, a.k.a. Fish. We're coast to coast, coming to you from Las Vegas, Myrtle Beach. We talk sports, entertainment, and everything in between in ways you just won't get anywhere else. Hey, and Fish, I got to tell you, Steve Sear, large influence on why Vegas is the way it is today. I'm looking forward to his insights.
Yeah, and Heidi's whole thing about social media and how much it's all a part of our lives. Look at this. Look at this billboard in Las Vegas, John. It's great. Amber Heard. Amber, we heard that you need to earn $10 million. Audition today. Little darlings, the strip clubs are all over this. And that's, that's the impact of this whole thing. It's crazy.
I love it. All right. That's great. Hey, folks, questions or comments, drop them in the chat box. Or if you're not watching us live, email us at dailyfish, dailyfish1@gmail.com. All right, Fish, time now for the Daily Grind. First, imagine if the entire sports world was like Major League Baseball, no salary cap. What would it look like, Fish? Go.
Well, it's crazy. You think about, the NBA kind of, they you get a LeBron, he gets his friends together, get a team. Durant gets a team together with the Nets. So the NBA kind of has that going on. They work it out. Football is the one that intrigues me the most because there's only one starting quarterback. But think about there's no salary cap. I'll make it quick. Think of the Miami Dolphins getting Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams to be with Tua. That you'd see for the wide receivers and running backs and defensive linemen be a free-for-all. And again, there's so many billionaires that the top five are Blank, Kraft, Jones, Snyder, Malcolm Glazer. They gobble up everybody, like the Dodgers. So it would concern me, but I wish baseball had a salary cap.
Yeah, I agree with you because you look at the Dodgers and they're just like, man, they're just stacked. Even though, they're not running away with things, but they're doing really well. I think if there was none in football, Tom Brady would have about 6 wide receivers that he could throw to. That's what they would get him as much as they could. So anyway, so it could be interesting. All right, next. Home field advantage. Is that a dinosaur? It seems that way in many sports. Fans are traveling to opposing stadiums. We're seeing it in the NHL playoffs where the New York Rangers fans have invaded earlier the Carolinas and now Florida. Fish, we've fleshed out a number of reasons. Go for it.
Snowbirds. Okay. Florida makes sense. A lot of New Yorkers live in New York, live in the Tampa area, so they're going to go. But the big thing that we're seeing that we didn't see when we were younger is when I go to a Raider game and I see 25, 30,000 fans from another team, a lot of season ticket holders in every stadium and every sport are selling their tickets to other people. All right. And they're paying it. And best team, a city like Las Vegas, where you have all the great accoutrements to accompany going to a football game or any kind of event. So, and the one thing that really when I thought about we put this segment together, this piece for the Grind, 35,000 San Francisco fans were in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium for the NFC Championship game against the Rams. It's here. It's something we're going to have to live with, John.
Yeah, I think it is going to happen. It's it's capitalism, yet at the same time too, it's exactly what you said off the at the start. You have a lot of Northerners who are living down south, so I think there's a couple of reasons there, and you just hope that the home teams, when their teams get into the playoffs, they're there for them. So Anyway, all right. And finally, on the Grind, pro golfers leaving the PGA for the Saudi-backed Live Golf Tour. Dustin Johnson is the latest and the biggest. The first of 8 events in 2022 is this weekend in the UK. It will be seen on YouTube and Facebook. Fish, I'm not watching. How about you?
Look, I don't want to be Stephen A. Smith and say I only watch golf when the brother makes the cut, but I only watch golf when the brother makes the cut. When it comes down to these kind of controversies, golf doesn't need any kind of controversy. They can't build their sport on anyone else other than Tiger Woods. So I need you to go. Golf is very dear to your heart. So I want you to go with your take on this.
Okay, well, I guess the question a lot of people ask is this going to destroy golf? I think it's going to cause some chaos, but I don't think it's going to hurt the PGA in the long run. I mean, DJ Dustin Johnson, he's the biggest name so far. There are other names who have joined: Kevin Na, Louis Oosthuizen, Lee Westwood, Charles Schwartzel, Graham McDowell, and Sergio Garcia. Na right now is the only young one who still has a chance to compete for every tournament. DJ McDowell and Sergio, they're at the end of their careers and they're struggling. They did this strictly for money and less playing time. So they get more money, they don't have to play as much. Now, normally I would say to them, hey, go for it. We need competition in golf. But here are my problems with some of the players like DJ. 2 weeks ago, DJ pledged himself to the PGA. Then he completely switched. The other reason I'm a little pissed off at him is that the motivation of the Live Golf League, the Saudi investment fund, is funded by the Saudi monarchy with the clear aim to make the rest of the world forget about their atrocities and how horrible their society is. It has all the appearance of a corrupt dictatorship. Look at the murder of Washington Post reporter Jamal Khashoggi. Phil Mickelson actually said it out loud, even though he is apparently, we don't know yet, he is going to actually join them. So I don't fall on the side of the uber capitalist in the golf world here. But I guess the question is, can Live succeed? I would say watch what happens in the next week and month. Watch what major tournaments do. Will they ban Live players from playing in the majors? Now, remember, the PGA does not control the Masters, the U.S. Open, and the British Open. If those tournaments allow players in the majors from Live, then Live will survive, I think, easily. My gut says that the Royal and Ancient and the USGA will side with the PGA. I don't know what Augusta is going to do so far. Go ahead.
Well, I look at it this way. I go to football on this one, okay? The AFL, when we were younger, and NFL both succeeded, and they were competing against each other. The old USFL, when they had Steve Young and Reggie White and Herschel Walker and Doug Flutie, did great. It was a great league, and they were competing against players in the NFL. Do you think that this is sort of like, is that the same parameters they're going to be competing for players? And the Saudis have an open checkbook. They're like, there's no salary cap. What do you think?
Right. Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. I do want to see competition. I think it's good that there's competition out there. I just don't like the way it's happening, and there's some of the political factors surrounding it. And so you mentioned too also about the fans. Are the fans going to be a factor? I don't know that the fans are going to be a factor. So far, the events are only on YouTube and Facebook, so they're certainly not looking for media revenue yet, and they might not need to with all that Saudi money, as you mentioned before. So it'll be curious.
Sounds like us. YouTube and Facebook.
Yeah.
Have some of the Saudi money. Give it to me, Heidi, John, and you. The hell with the LA Live. What Live? What Live Tyler? What the hell's Live? What does Live stand for? I don't even know.
You know what? I can't remember now. I can't remember. It's the fund. It's
Lucky
the fund
and vaginas. What the hell is it? I don't know what the Live is. Move on. I'm an idiot.
You would think I would have remembered that. All right. And
I'm not going to the bus with that one. I don't even know what Live stands for.
Yeah. I'll find out. Don't worry. And that is the Daily Grind. Again, the email is dailyfish1@gmail.com. Love having you with us. Daily Fish is live on Facebook at daily.fish.5 on Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Watch us also on Facebook at Myrtle Beach Golf Channel and Myrtle Beach Grand Strand Life. Check out Daily Fish on YouTube and Wingding TV, and listen to us on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, and Amazon. All right, time now for the Daily Fish Hardlines. John Hardison has the podcast, The Cost of Winning, focusing on fantasy sports and sports betting. Hardline, welcome back, buddy. Let's start with the NBA, all tied at one apiece. Has the momentum swung to Golden State, or is this just a great battle of coaching maneuvers?
I think this is a great battle of coaching maneuvers. I like Udoka. I love what he's done with the Boston Celtics. I think he's a much better head coach than Brad Stevens was, and you've seen it with the different adjustments that he's been able to make over the last two games. But I had Golden State and Boston splitting. I actually had Golden State winning game one, Boston winning game two. So after Boston took game one, I bet Golden State, and it ended up working. This was as some people say, get right game for Golden State. I call it this had to be a statement, an ass whooping game that Golden State had to come out and make to make everybody realize that, hey, look, we haven't been around for maybe the last 2 years, but that was just because of injury, and we're still as good as any other team that could come out of here. One thing that I noticed that Golden State did very well, they slowed down the pace of the game a little bit last night. Look, those guys are a little bit older. They're 30. They're in their mid 30s. They can't run and gun like Boston could, in their early 20s. So I think they're playing smarter, not harder. And look, we finally saw with Jordan Poole, the Jordan Poole that we're waiting for. We finally got Gary Payton the second back as well. And Steph Curry was Steph Curry. And if Steph Curry continues on this trajectory, he'll have a finals MVP on his wall to add to the collection of other trophies that he's got. Going into game 3, I like Marcus Smart at plus 13.5 points. I think that it's a get-right game for him. Yeah, he didn't do so well in game 2, but he did really well game 1. And I also really like Draymond Green over 6.5 assists. He's had 7 one game, 5 another. I think that he moves the ball around. And as long as Draymond plays smart, doesn't take any threes, hopefully not he take any threes, and he doesn't get any officials' faces, he should be pretty good for that.
Okay, and I was going to say, what do you got for the game?
I'll take a Golden State. I'll take a Golden State plus 3.5. And if you can even take a money line, I like them. I know that they're not the favorite. I know Boston's the favorite, but I think they steal the first one on the road.
Cool.
I don't know if you watched it. I did. I think, I've always thought Evander Kane's a goon, and he took out Kadri, their best player. Darcy Kemper, we're talking about hockey now. The Colorado Avalanche up 3-0 on the Edmonton Oilers, both Johns. And Darcy Kemper and Kadri are out. And I think the over-under on fights tonight, you're going to go old-time hockey night. The Avalanche, I've listened to every single soundbite and blog. I'm into this. They're on fire. They're so pissed off. That could affect them or not. What do you think? Do you think they close it out tonight? They're pissed off.
I mean, yeah, Colorado's going to get pissed off. They're going to say that they wouldn't pull that shit with Detroit, but it's Edmonton. I like Colorado, but I think tonight Edmonton gets one on the road. I'm putting money on Edmonton tonight. I think they get one on. Think they get the one at home, but I think it's over in 5 games. I just think Colorado's a more physical team. I think they're a better team overall. I like Evander Kane being there. Look, that's one of the lost portions of hockey that we're missing is the goon. You know what I'm saying? You don't have necessarily a Mark Messier that's out there anymore that's just willing to go toe-to-toe and fight people. There's guys like Reeves that, they'll get in their face, but you don't see a lot of hand throwing like they used to.
I disagree with you wholeheartedly. I watched hockey when you were in diapers, and it was fighting. Now these guys like Tom Wilson and Kane are using sticks. They're dirty, all right? And in the old days, they took them out. You watch the Flyers back in the day, John don't know this, the Broad Street Bullies, you got taken out. You got a headlock, but it was all fight. It was all fist. Tom Wilson uses a stick. He was suspended for 8 months. And Kane's been suspended. When you use parts of the equipment as weapons, get the fuck out of the league. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, John.
No, you know what? Look,
I'm a hockey guy.
Look, no, you know what? Look, I'm not going against you. I agree. You shouldn't have used the cane. But you know what? Look, I like the goon aspect, but there's a line that's drawn, and you usually know what it is when you go into it. And I think he crossed it on that part. But you know what? I like him in there. And look, they did a review. He got the 1 game, so he's going to serve his time. I mean, that's up to the league to decide what it's going to be. It's not up to necessarily him or the team. So look, he did what he had to do, and I think they get the win tonight.
Sorry.
What are you going with on the bet?
We should ask Steve when he comes on. Go ahead, John. I got a line, but you go.
I'm going Oilers plus 115. I like the Oilers tonight.
We should ask Steve Sir when he comes on because he's the whale. If he ever gave Evander Kane a marker, about Evander Kane. Wow. So no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get that with you, John. I just don't. I think goons are good for the league, but fight. Use your fist.
So, hey, Fish touched on this with Kadri out. If the Avs win, how big a loss is that going to be?
You know what? I think it's a significant loss for them. I mean, look, you're talking about a guy that was top 15 in goals in the postseason, top 20 in goals in the regular season. I think that's huge. But I do think that if they hurry up and win in 5, because it looks like Tampa Bay is probably going to go about 7 games, the way that they're going back and forth with the Rangers between 6 and 7. That time could be used to, hopefully get him some extra rest time, hopefully get him to come back. And I mean, look, it's the Stanley Cup. I would have to believe, unless it's a medical professional or the team trainer, he's going to find a way to get back on the ice for the biggest game of his career. I have to believe that.
Rangers Rangers, Tampa Bay. Just give me the skinny. It's been a phenomenal series so far.
Oh, I love it. You know what? Look, this is, we talked about this a few weeks ago, Fish. This is what the Golden Knights should have stayed the course with. And unfortunately, they turned tide. And now our ex-coach and Ryan Reeves are in the Eastern Conference Finals. And they're only 2 games away from making the Stanley Cup. So I mean, they're right there. Right there. And they're not backing down from Tampa Bay. They're checking them. They're getting in their face. This is a great series. They're not allowing Tampa Bay to just run on them, as Tampa Bay has done with so many other people, just playing faster, more aggressive. They're matching them toe for toe. I like the Rangers. I really do. It's hard to three-peat. It really is. It's hard to go back-to-back. It's even harder to win 3 in a row. I like the Rangers. I think Tampa Bay will win the next game, but for the series, I'm taking the Rangers. I think that the Rangers just have that little extra edge that will push them to the Stanley Cup.
Interesting. We'll be watching it. And that is the Daily Fish Hardline with John Hardison, the Cost of Winning podcast. You can find him here with us every week. He's also on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. All right, Hardline. Thanks, buddy. We'll be watching him.
Same here. See you guys next week.
Cool.
See you in the bar.
Need a great golf getaway? The Myrtle Beach Golf Trail has dozens of courses along the Carolina coast. You can set up an entire trip for yourself, your family, or a bunch of friends. The site to go to is myrtlebbeachgolftrail.com. You can play there year-round. Now is an absolutely great time to play there. All right, now it is time for something fishy. What stinks to you, Fish? Uh-oh.
This is about what's in a name. When you and I were younger, Heidi was younger, our parents, they had names, real names. And you don't see, how many times you go to a baby shower right now, and if the boy were naming him Herman or Ralph or Mordecai, or if it was a woman, you're going to name him Martha or Myrtle. It doesn't happen anymore. I have to card people as a bartender, all right, all the time. These are some of the names, and this is all genders and races. These are the names in the last 2 weeks that I've carded. Love Child is the name of a woman. Toe Jam is the name of a man. Listen to this one. Coaxial is the name on a guy's driver's license. I go imagine his dad's a mechanic. Booyah, the guy had to have Stuart Scott as an uncle. How about these? Celestial was this young lady that came in. Stargazer, and this is the best. I'm not kidding you. The first guy's name, the name was Howdy, and the middle name was Doody. Okay, Howdy Doody Daniel was his name. I mean, and the guy had the kind of glasses you put the tape in the middle. The fuck? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's crazy. What people are naming their kids right now. It's just so nice when you see, hey, I just had a kid named Sam. Okay, I named him Jeff, John, Eric. What the hell's going on with names, John?
Wow. Well, and these had to be people from about 20, 30 years ago, too. They were naming these people, right?
What exactly? Have you ever heard? I get Heidi. Have you ever heard anyone that you know is having a kid or a grandkid? Oh, yeah, I'm having a grandkid. We're naming him Herman. Never. Not happening. I'm done. Right. That's fishy to me. It's fishy. We have Howdy Doody. I laughed my ass off. Is this a joke?
Yeah. Can you imagine how he introduces himself at a job interview? Yeah.
Oh, I'm Howdy Doody. Sounds like John O'Hurley. Let's move on.
All right. And that is something fishy. All right. Still ahead, our schmuck of the week, along with Who's Got the Swag and our special guest, Steve Sear, one of the biggest casino hosts in Las Vegas. He's also the author of the book, Whale Hunting in the Desert. All right. Time now for Heidi's Hollywood. She is Heidi Holliker, actor and producer who is deep in the entertainment scene for us. Heidi, you are binging The Social Network, a film about the start of Facebook. The film was made in 2010. Even more relevant today, though, huh?
Definitely more relevant. Absolutely. It is, by the way, Max, best name ever, Eric. Social Network, Jesse Eisenberg, Andrew Garfield. It is my grandpa's name, favorite boy name ever. It is so relevant. This movie, I watched it for the third time yesterday, and it plays better every time you see it. And it just hits home so strongly because social media, which, by the way, if every time I watch the news and entertainment, it's now, you guys have probably noticed this. Everyone refers to it as social, blah, 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 social. They're dropping the media word. It takes too much time to say media, but it is Facebook started the way that we communicate, and it is fantastic. and dangerous and scary and exciting all at the same time. You know, we're so involved with checking Facebook on a regular basis that it's just like check the news, check your email, check Facebook. It's just what we do. And this particular movie, it's streaming on Amazon Prime, Vudu, video on demand. It's on YouTube. If anyone hasn't seen it, absolutely watch this movie. It is it definitely I can't even say it was ahead of its time, because Facebook started in 2004 by Mark Zuckerberg and Eduardo Saverin and a couple other very important guys, and it's changed our world. I mean, kind of overnight.
Look at the offshoots: Twitter,
Yeah.
Instagram. Also, I think some. Okay, and the one that really kills me being in the restaurant business is Yelp. You and I, Heidi can go on her phone right now when she leaves her segment and said she was at a California, I don't want to mention names. She was at a restaurant and had bad service while she's doing the podcast, and people believe what they read. That's the dangers of social media. I don't think when Zuckerberg created Facebook, he thought about that. It's a great way. I reconnected, as John probably did and you did, with many people you know from your past. That's the reason why I went on Facebook.
Me too. Same thing. Exactly. Yeah.
But the movie was, Jesse Eisenberg's portrayal of Zuckerberg was brilliant. You know,
brilliant.
Talk about everyone in entertainment, a manager, social media presence. Talk about some of the stars that did and positive influence and negative influences
very, very negative, and it goes both ways. So one of the stars of this film, Armie Hammer, who played the Winklevoss twins, he was fantastic. Big star doing. He did The Lone Ranger. He was just working nonstop. One of just a beautiful, gorgeous guy, really good actor, and social media destroyed his career. What he said, he said a lot of very harmful things about his point of view about women and all kinds of things that I wouldn't want to even discuss, but it completely ruined his career, destroyed it. And that's really the gist here, that your entire career can be destroyed overnight. If you
talk about Michael Richards, Michael Richards from Seinfeld.
I'm sure that we've all seen that video when he was doing stand-up and a heckler pissed him off and he went off on him on a racist rant, and overnight, ruined his career. On Curb Your Enthusiasm, they actually touch on that when they do the Seinfeld reunion. But you have to be so careful. And as a celebrity, for celebrities, you have to have a social media manager. You have to have somebody that you have hired and you invest money in that is watching your back every single day. And it's just, it's critical as your agent, your attorney, your business manager, your makeup artist. It is, you can destroy your career. And then on the other hand, you have amazing positive stuff. Like you said, Eric, when we reconnected with our high school friends, I mean, how amazing has that been? And seeing what people are doing and the positive part. Celebrity wise, Taylor Swift and Justin Bieber are really good examples. Justin Bieber became famous. I don't know if it was so much overnight or maybe it took 2 days, but he was found on YouTube. His mother posted YouTube videos of him singing, and he has, he's certainly been around for quite a while now, but he has over 200 million followers. And those are people that buy his music and go to his concerts. And then you have...
I want to bring in about YouTube. I just think about something. You know this. We all saw this band in the 70s called Journey. They're looking for a lead singer, and they found a lead singer on YouTube from the Philippines.
I know.
How cool is that?
Brilliant.
Yeah. I'll give you another example. We have a person that's an alumni of the show named Lauren Francesca that does a show called How Do You Start with Brad Thunberg. She's just called the social influencer. She has tons of followers on YouTube, tons. And you make a career. I'll give you a great example about how social media works. when we had the pandemic in my business, the bar business, right, and people are out of work and strippers are out of work, I would see a couple of strippers. I saw a stripper in the supermarket. How you making money? Well, I opened a PayPal account and I went on Zoom, which is social, and I went on other platforms and, other props like Banana. Use your imagination. You made money through social media without going into a strip club.
It's
That's
inventive.
the great thing about social media. Yeah. I want to ask you one question. I don't think a lot of celebrities are on Facebook. I know a ton of them are on Twitter.
You're right. You absolutely, anyone in the media in any area has to be on Twitter.
Right.
As far as Facebook, they have Facebook presence, but they're not actually going on it. You can't, if there's someone famous that you admire, you want to connect with, they'll never respond to you. They'll never accept your request.
No.
It doesn't work that way. But you're right. It is. Yeah. It's Twitter, and I'm sorry.
Instagram,
Twitter,
stuff. Snapchat.
Yep.
I'm on all this shit. It's
all of them.
crazy.
And you have
Crazy.
to continually keep your position up. You have to keep updating it and put interesting stuff out there.
Oh, I've been in jail. I've been in jail before on Facebook and other things.
I think we all have.
Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh man. No, I've been out, Heidi.
What?
I'm giving away all kinds of people's shit. So, anyways,
Yeah.
good stuff. Good stuff, honey. Great.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Heidi, good stuff tonight. All right. And folks, that is Heidi's Hollywood. She's with us every week. You can check her out on Facebook and Instagram. See you next week, Heidi. Thanks.
Okay. Mwah.
And now it's time for our schmuck of the week. Fish, who's been
Well, let me get.
schmucking this week?
I always got to do. They say people want
Oh,
to
yeah,
see the
get that
schmuck
up
of the
there.
week. I got to
Yeah,
get that up there.
look, I need a longer intro.
I got to get the schmuck of the week. Look at the look on this guy's face, John. Okay, now this guy is probably the leading contender, and I don't like to get political. It's gonna come up again. My computer's kind of messing up a little bit. But get Steve in a bit. This guy looks like you are on a plane when you have to use a bathroom. That's Ron DeSantis. I don't want to mix government. I don't want to mix politics with but this guy pulls some shit I can't believe. He blocked state funding for a new Tampa Bay Rays training facility because the baseball team spoke out against gun violence in the wake of the massacres in Uvalde and Buffalo on social media. There you go, social media, a source similar to internal conversations. Come on, man. You know what? Don't ever use your power to take away anything from anyone in entertainment. Do you agree?
Yep. No, I would agree with you 100%. And again, he kind of did it just on an executive order, and he could have the backing of the legislature because he does have he has a lot of.
He's got the backing of this guy. Maybe Sir's seen this guy around, but check out this, John. This is something maybe Sir's too young for this. Check out. Does Ted Cruz not look like Grandpa? That's one of the backers. Look at that.
I've never
these
seen
guys
that
are running
before.
for the presidency in 2024. Look at that. Wow.
I've never seen that one before. Wow, that's
Oh,
interesting.
I gotta do it again. Look at that. I bet you Ted Cruz walks up to the podium and says, Herman, where's that drink you're drinking? Hey, there you go, Herman Munster.
There you
Name your
All right.
10 Herman, people. All right.
That's true.
Where are we going now,
And that
buddy?
is the schmuck of the week. Let's go to who's got the swag. Who are we
Love
toasting,
it.
Phil?
This is not a sports figure, but I saw this story, and we're toasting a young lady
Great
that was
story.
on Alaska Airlines. This has happened on a lot of airlines, right? Her name is Ray Lynn. Okay, this is Ray Lynn Howard. She claimed Alaska Airlines gave her the boot because she was too fat and has drastically slimmed down, going under the knife to shed hundreds of pounds. She weighed 420 pounds when she was removed from Alaska flight back in September, John. And since then, she's lost 181 pounds following a surgical procedure. And maybe she's going to apply over at Little Darlings to be a stripper. But, I say a lot of credit to her. I had a friend of mine and a friend of the show, we'll mention who it was kicked off a Southwest Airlines thing. And it's not right, but you have to be able to sit in the seat. But if you could pull that kind of swag and lose that kind of weight, we're toasting you.
All right. And that's who's got the swag. Now we got our drink of the week. We're going to toast with our drink of the week. And Fish, what are we sipping?
Probably the most common drink there is, a vodka tonic. At Chuck's Tavern, I'll probably make more vodka tonics. Now it's Tito's and tonic. Tito's is the big alcohol you're serving right now. And I got to work tonight, so I'll drink water, John, because, God forbid you have a drink before you go to work.
Yep.
But you
Yep,
drink
I'll
for
have a
me,
sip
buddy.
you. And
Vodka tonic and a lime, baby. Put in the highball. That's it.
Here's looking at you. It's a great summer drink, and it's also it's if you're watching your weight, it's a really good drink to have. So
Let's toast to Steve Sear, because probably a lot of his clients are drinking the tables right now.
We'll definitely do that. Here's to Steve. We're going to bring Steve on in a second. There we go. All right. Hey, I'll just to let you know, the Daily Fish Drink of the Week is sponsored by Shucks Tavern in Vegas. Great seafood and drinks in 2 locations. Head to Shucks Tavern on North Durango and the northwest side of town, where fish is overnight. You say Daily Fish Podcast, you get a free drink. Do it the next day, a free appetizer. That's Shucks Tavern. You can check out Shucks Tavern on Facebook. All right, let's bring in our special guest, Steve Sear. He is the top casino super host in Las Vegas. His book is phenomenal. It's called Whale Hunt in the Deserts, Secrets of a Vegas Super Host. Steve is also an amateur boxer. Steve, welcome to Daily Fish.
Man, thank you. One thing I didn't realize, so I don't have to worry about 4-letter words. Fish throws out shit a lot, so that's cool. Okay.
Well,
you know what, Steve? Good to see. I've actually met you before. You were so gracious to me. One of your clients at Verona at the Super Bowl in 2002 down in San Diego when Tampa played the Raiders.
Oh my God.
Names. It's my wife's first cousin, and I was staying with them, and you were great. I watched the way you work a room. You know, that there was a private room there, John, down. He wants to say Elway's down there and stuff like that. And Sears working the room like he's like an MC.
No, that's the best
story.
I mean, oh my God. So, all right, my ADD is really bad today, but okay. So I worked 3 years to get that one whale down, and he brought Mr. Elway. And I like John Elway. He was cool, whatever. John Elway. And back then, in that jurisdiction, I just get percentage of loss, right? So my guy this is a true story. I swear to God, my guy is stuck 2,900,000. He's betting 50,000 a hand. I'm in the back. I'm spending the money. John Elway had 100,000 on line. He's betting like 2,000 a hand, right? Just grind away. Didn't matter if he won 10 hands on a row. And so my whale is calling John the P word, like, come on, step it up. So I swear to God, I'm back there going, okay, I'm going to pay off this house and then do it. Because, you know, 2 more hands, I make 300,000. It was front money. So I get paid like the next Monday. Oh, it's so funny that you bring this up. So he puts out 50,000. He gets an 8 and a 3. He doubles down. He wins the hand. 2 hours later, he's out. He hits a $4.4 million run, betting 100,000 a hand because he's pressing. Pays off the 300 markers, goes home with $1 million winner. I literally am throwing up in the trash can. And Elway, he starts saying, John, quit being a pussy. And he starts putting on Elway's hand. Elway, even though he's winning too, because it's the tables win, the dealer just can't, you know, is busting every hand. Then Elway wins like 200 grand. I literally make 0. I worked on this guy for 3 years, and it was unbelievable. But yeah, it's a great game. We had 2 sky boxes. So
watching this guy work. Steve, watching you work, I mean, it's a Verona, John, is an Indian casino, and there's no booze, but you go downstairs to the private room, and there's all the whales down there, man. And this guy's working it and making sure. And I said, wow, what this guy, I swear to God, if this guy isn't on lithium by the time he's 60, he's going to be dead because you had to work.
You know, I hope that you win in Nevada, because in Nevada, I get paid on theoretical. So if you win, you bet more, you play longer, hence more action. And so I had a guy about 2 weeks ago. I still rep Viejas and Verona. I love him. So he wins like 400,000 in Vegas, and I'd maxed out my commission. So I'd already made, you know, I couldn't make any more. And he goes, what do you want to do tonight? And I go, let's go to Verona. So he goes to Verona. No, actually we went to Viejas. He loses 200 grand. I make 10%, 20 grand. Shakes my hand and said, God, I had a great time, because he still went home with 200. So that was the dream. And I'm still doing it. God, I started in 1986, and I've been a junket rep since '99 after getting fired again from the Hilton. So
Steve, explain to folks maybe who aren't aware of the inner workings of the casino. Fish and I been in Vegas for so long. We get what you do. Do you work? You don't work for the casinos now. You work for the whales.
They have 2 types of hosts. For 20 years, and I still like the square jobs, but I'm exclusive for Clark County. Like I was at the Palms before the close. I'm a casino host, so I help everything from your limo and your dinner reservations to Fish wants a credit line. And I'm kind of like a Jerry Maguire. So you wouldn't go to divorce court without a good attorney. If you're a guy that's going to blow 50 grand or more, that's usually like my threshold of pain, just because I'm a small staff. I negotiate Can Fish split aces 4 times? Can he double down after a split? If he loses 100,000, does he get a discount? Yes, if he pays me on the way out the door. Is he going to get his airfare paid up front? Big players don't give a shit about the room. Yes, it's cool and all that, but I was Larry Flint's host when he was like, great guy. There's about 30 deal points. If he plays dice, does he get 3, 4, 5 times odds or double odds? I mean, I'm a 2.3 from UNLV, but I'm kind of Einstein on the games. I'm a games guy. On roulette, I have one lady player, and we always say, which ball do you want to use of mine? Does she want the small ball or the bigger ball on the wheel? And she wants a single zero roulette wheel. Because remember, it's not 50-50. There's 2 greens there. But everybody thinks, oh, it's 50-50, red, black. No, it's not. And there's 36 numbers and 2 greens. There's 38 ways to win. But when you finally hit your mom's birthday, we only pay you 35 to 1. And it's all smoke and mirrors, and we know mathematically if you sit there for so long, we should win. You don't have to lose to win, but you got to give me a shot at your money. So anyway, a casino host maintains the business. I'm what's called a licensed junket rep. So I had to go through the rectal exam by the great state of Nevada twice. And I've never been in trouble or arrested in my life. I'm a little bit of an orangutan because I've been fired 9 times. But, it was $38,000. I paid for them to go back and interview my high school in 1999, and they're like, we didn't fill this out. I go, 15 years ago, I was living with my parents. So I work for 9 casinos and I earn on action. I only get paid for newer and active business. But again, I'm rare because I live in Vegas. Most reps are in Dallas or Florida. And if your mom's brother was a bookmaker, you're not getting a license. It's a privilege. It's $2,000 just to file the paperwork, which I like because it's hard to do what I do. And so I'm a travel agent for gamblers. You're freezing your ass off in New York. Hey, let's go down to the Baltimore or the Atlantis. Man, my wife, Vegas is too much TNA. Well, let's go to the Barona and play golf and take the kids to SeaWorld. Hey, man, I want to come with the boys. Okay, let's go to the Cosmo. So wherever they want to go, I book them. And I lose 25% of my database every year, guys, because they're sick of gambling, they're broke, or they're sick of Steve. The third one doesn't happen often, but it happens. And so I'm constantly networking, and I still love doing what I do. Circa and Vegas is back, and the NFL draft. I'm very event-driven. COVID crushed my little company, of course. I have other stuff that I do, thank goodness. But, Vegas is back, and we're fun, and we're still 20 years ahead of everybody. People are always like, I remember when I told my mom, I'm not going to take the Marriott training program in Omaha, Nebraska, and come back and run the Howard Johnson Motel in Salina, Kansas. Thank God. I want to try this casino host thing. And she's like, Steven, she goes, the only other place you can even get a job is New Jersey, young man. And I know you hate the cold. Now, Mom, the only place I can't work is Utah and Hawaii. Yeah. I got lucky, right? I didn't know. I picked an industry like marijuana. You might hate it, but it's coming. Sports betting. Come on. We were the only ones. Now, it's coming. And so now hosts work for FanDuel and, there's ancillary stuff there. So I picked a business where gambling is accepted now. I mean, who thought we could go to the Raider game on our phone and bet the game legally? So anyway, I rambled, but that's what I do. I'm in the gaming business. I love it. It's very exciting. I get to meet my players on the weekend. I'm here on Friday, and then they hate me on Sunday because most of my players, like all of us, they need to break even, and then 2 hours before the limo takes them back to the airport, they win. Because if they win Friday night, I'm up 20 grand. They're trying to win 30, and you know what happens? They're writing me a check on Sunday. So greed is good.
This guy Daly would make I'm in the bar business, make a great bartender, Steve, sir, because your biggest attribute is how to read. If you have 5 clients that are in a room together, one's playing blackjack in a casino, roulette, $100,000 hands, you got to read their minds. Does this guy want to go to a Raider game and sit in a suite, courtesy of us and get the car there? You got to do you have to explain to everyone that you have to read every one of your players' minds and know what they like and know how to appease them when they've lost $1 million.
Well, yeah, because you can gamble in a lot of places. At home in San Diego. And, when my parents used to get off the plane from Kansas, what would they do? They would play the slot machines at McCarran Airport. Now they play in Wichita. You know what I mean? So why come to Vegas? Because of the adult nightlife, because of all the great restaurants. I'm telling you, we're becoming the sports capital. I don't know if we're ever going to get a baseball or NBA team, but, man, I'd never been to a hockey game before. So I know guys that, they can only maybe afford to go to a couple away games. And so instead of going to Denver, if you're a Chief fan, you're coming to Vegas. And so I try to plan their trip for them, but it's based on how much you're going to put in the cage. I need 4 hours of play at this amount of hand. And, and we do the math. But you're right. I have to keep the casino happy because they don't want the guy to come in and win $500,000 and stiff us and take the promo chips and all the perks and the private plane. And I got to keep the player happy. And I'm a good juggler. I've learned to become patient. I mean, I have been really fired 9 times because I tell people to eat shit. I have to rely on everybody. The limo driver went at 10 a.m. No, it's 10 p.m. The front desk clerk checked him into the wrong suite. They lost the Celine Dion tickets. No, he's supposed to be in the meet and greet. He's supposed to meet Celine. So I kind of like that chaos because I'm not going to cure cancer and I'm not the book smart guy, but I'm the people guy. And I can tell and if you owe money, it's falling in our state, and we're going to dump the markers. And you will. I had a girl that owed $4,000. True story. Last month, I said, Mrs. D, please just send me $1,000, something. Oh, I'll get to it. After 6 months, those markers are stale. And in the great state of Nevada, we recognize gaming debts. In California, all they can do is drag your TRW. In Nevada, she had her 4-year-old in the back in a car seat. She's speeding. Boo! Bench worn out in Nevada. Kid goes to child protective custody. It's a Friday. She sits in LA County Jail. Then has to sit on a bus 3 days later to Nevada to get in front of a judge and pay an extra 10% to RDA, $4,400. Now their kid's been in child protective custody for a week, over $4,000. So in Nevada, we have a whole check fraud division, down at Gaming Control Board. Yeah. So anyway, I love the business, man, and I love our town, and I haven't gone back. I moved here in '83. I've lived 2 places, Salina, Kansas, and Las Vegas. And Mr. D, I didn't know, man. I watch this all the time, man. Daily Fish, it's cool.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you're with us here, Steve. Talk about the difference in your book. You talk about the changes. You used to. The whales you had were old white guys over 70. Now they're some of the young high tech guys who are pulling in millions. How has it changed? Has it changed dramatically over the last 10 years?
So 2 things. One, when I was in my heyday at the Hilton for a decade, I actually lasted 10 years there. My department, casino marketing, was almost 80% of the bottom line. So if our EBITDA was $50 million, 80% of that was going to be casino. Now, my department, it's a third hotel and conventions because we figured out we got to do something Sunday through Thursday. It's a third nightlife and entertainment and a third casino. My department isn't the big fish anymore, okay? And back then, you're just a slot player? Oh, no, fish, you wait in line over there. This is for table players. And they were all men. I didn't have women high rollers. Now I have a bunch. And the hosts were men. And I was the grunt. I was 22 at Caesars and the youngest by 30 years. All the other hosts were 52. But I would hustle on Graveyard, and that's how I met my players. And I was a telemarketer, so I would call people, which was a sin, but I like calling. So now, you're right. My whales now, I have more. Think of this. I have more $100,000 players. That means you're going to risk $100,000 on a weekend, under 45 than over 45. Even 15 years ago, my average player was 62. And I don't have thousands of players. I have about 70 guys. There's only 52 weeks in a year, but 70 guys that'll risk $25,000 to $100,000 on a weekend. And then I have 11 guys that'll risk $500,000 to $2 million. And I have 2 guys that'll bring 5 or 10 million. Thank God. And they're wonderful. But, so, in the book, I talk about, by the way, I didn't write the book. My grammar's too poor. I do split the road. Deke Castleman followed me for 3 years. And it's so great. The first edition came out. Anthony Curtis, that owns the Las Vegas Advisor. I don't know if you know him. He's a great guy, super sharp. I love Anthony, but he can't play blackjack. Anthony, you got to play craps because he's Mr. Okay, I love you, brother, but no. So, the first edition came out, I'm like, whatever. And then, Montel Williams and Piers Morgan. The book has been so cool. And it's like, why did you write it? Now it's the third edition, paperback, a little shameless plug here if you can see it.
Yeah. Show it, Steve. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Is required.
Show it on there. I want to see it. Yeah.
Third edition is required reading at Cornell, where I got rejected. I get to speak there every year. And NYU's master's degree students. I know. They fly here. They have to read the book. And, I take them to Sapphire. And I'm like, you have no idea how they make money. You have 400 girls. It'd be like a blackjack dealer saying, here's $120. Don't pay me benefits. I'm going to work for tips. Sapphire has 400 girls on a Friday, Saturday, giving them $120 to work at the back door. They're entertainer's license. They're not an employee to work for tips. They're making 40 grand from the back door before they sell a $12 Corona. I mean, anyway, so I try to show them the ins and outs of Vegas. And so the book's been really cool. I do this thing for the New York Post called Professional Confessional. So I've had a fun ride, and I'm still on it. You know, our town's grown so much, and well, John, you've seen it. I mean, you know, it's crazy, right? And I don't think, but now, man, homes are high, and yeah, I'd like to sell, but where do I go?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's nuts. I think we all always were a little undervalued in Vegas. All my neighbors are from New York and San Francisco, and they got out. So anyway, okay. So to answer your question, my ADD's bad. I'm sorry. Yes, my whales now are going to be broke before they're 50. I'm just saying. A third of my customers are so rich, you know, like when Larry was alive, who cares if they win or lose? The other third are the funnest, but they should not be here. And those are my young ones now. They're gambling above their means. They're spending a lot more and they're not saving shit, but they think they're going to do the next crypto thing. And I'm going to burn them out. Then the other third, as their age and wealth increases, their gaming increases. It's so accepted now. They bet on FanDuel at home and they go to their Indian reservation casino. And then I want to try Vegas. I saw a stat the other day, 44% of adults 21 to 56 have been to Vegas 0 times. Can that be true? I mean, that means almost half the country's never been to, and I see it all the time. A player will bring up, never been to Vegas. Really? Nope, never been to Vegas. Oh. So I think we're still going to have a lot of growth, and people are worried, well, all these other states hurt us. No, because mom and dad tried it in Verona, and instead of going to Hawaii, they want to come to Vegas and watch the Raiders. That's why it doesn't matter if they win one game a year. I hope we win the Super Bowl, but even if they only win one game a year, it's always going to be full because people want to come to Vegas to watch their team. That's why I did so good on the draft, because every team was there. I wish we could do the draft every year.
You're right.
Me too.
You're right. You know, John, there's way. Yeah, I've been here 30 years almost, Steve. So I'm with you as far as the growth of this town. But in this town, there's Wayne Newton, Siegfried and Roy, and Steve Sear. I know so many people that have known this guy and read his book. We're all proud of you, man, because you're real. You're in the dirt. You're a grunt.
Flattery will get you everywhere with me. I am a
dude. No one's gonna ever think of you as a sensitivity trainer in Cleveland, man. You've got it. You got it. You could open any barn. I'm not kissing your ass. I'm just trying to get someone to help John pay off his marker. You know, he and Evander Kane and Charles Barkley are hanging out too much together. So
now, seriously, when you guys go out, do you play like I play little craps? I have $2,500 credit lines, and I write on there, if you ever give me more, I'm not paying it. I don't care what's in
I never play.
That's my touch. I'll take $1,000, $2,000, but and sometimes I like to play, but I see it so much, you know. And I do like to bet sports. There's nothing better than I don't even really like hockey, but I'll bet $500 and then go watch the Vegas Golden Knight game. That to me is fun. So do you gamble, John?
I don't really that much. I mean, I'll gamble on sporting events more than anything else. When I lived there, I play the slots. I'd play some tables, but for the most part, that wasn't me. I was more into March Madness. March Madness was almost 99% of my betting when I was there. Fish, how about you?
Never. A lot of sports. I got a big prop bet right now. Huge money, Steve, on the Orioles winning over 60 games this year. I'm a big prop bet guy. The prop bet for the Super Bowl. Go ahead.
Orioles over 60 games?
Yeah. That's what I got. So I think they have 21. I laid my wife's watching this, but
all right.
I laid a lot of money on that.
Yeah.
So I like prop bets. I'm a prop bet guy, and I'm in the bar business. You know, all the bars here have video poker machines. So do I go out, and visit other bartenders and stuff in this town? Never. Yes. So yeah, I'm a part of the I'm a part of the culture of this town. And when I heard your name, you were so gracious. I was hanging out with one of your big clients. I won't mention names. Maybe afterward, when I get a hold of you. But you were so gracious to me. What bar do you work at? I worked at Oasis Bar and Grill on Rainbow and Cheyenne. Remember that place?
Oh yeah, I know that bar. Yeah.
Yeah, and you knew it, and I probably served you, but you and I were here in the heyday of this town. So was John, and we're trying to educate people how great it is. Now you tell me everyone 44% of people 21 to 56 haven't come here. Wow, that's a huge stat, Steve. Huge.
My favorite watering hole is still on West Charleston. It's called the Tap House, home of the
Sure.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a
Cleveland Browns bar. Yeah.
Jimmy and Bobby. Yeah. I've been going to the Tap House for 30. The wings are crazy good. I get them all the time, and they put me in trays of 100. And I love that bar.
Well, you got to come up here, buddy, because that's where I'm at. It's called Chuck's Tavern. We got that.
No, I've been
You're comp.
Wasn't Shucks, because I live close to Shucks. I live in Spanish Trail.
So a little further north.
I don't want to get into a thing, but we have one on Flamingo and Fort Apache, which is close to you. Let me know when you go there, okay? I'll get you a marker.
Why do I think Mr. Black used to own that?
He did. He did.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. No. I like video poker. I like a new bar called Whiskey, WSKY too.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Where's
brand new. Just opened. It's on the west side. Yeah, really cool decor. I'm a whiskey guy, but it's a video poker bar. But they made it really nice with booze. Almost looks a little nightclubish. And have you ever been to Myron's at the Smith Center? It's a little speakeasy that seats 200 people, and they have. I just saw Judith Hill there.
I have not, but I heard about how good it is.
Yeah, and then of course Monday nights I can't go tonight because I'm sparring. One of my guys has a fight coming up. I fought in March, by the way, and won. But it's called Santa Fe and the Fat City Horns. They're at the Copa Room at Bootlegger, and that's Jerry Lopez. And like the horn section is Celine Dion's, and then it's Santana's Congo Players. It's kind of like a funky Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's the greatest lounge act ever.
Wow.
So
All right, we're going to definitely try that. Steve, we're going to be short on time, but we're going to have you. We've got to have you back again. Talk about your boxing career, because you're an amateur boxer. You're very successful.
Yeah. So when I'm 58, and so when I was 43, I was at Dana White's gym, and one of my best friends is Derek Harmon, who lost. He was ranked number 2 in the world. He lost to Roy Jones Jr. I started fighting in smoker fights. I wanted to, really spar and do it, and I was okay. And then we figured out that the oldest Nevada amateur boxer to ever win was 43 years old. So I broke the record and retired. And, 38 fights later, I just won, and I'm 58. I also fight in Masters Elite competitions around the country. I've gone to Arizona, Colorado, California. And to be a master fighter, you have to be over 35. And I'm a novelty, so they always put me on. I fought at Brooklyn Bowl. I fought on Fremont Street, the Cosmopolitan, the Hard Rock 10 times. And so I'm right now currently the over 50 national champion. And in my last tournament, there were 30 fighters over 60 from all over the country. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. So I like it. I'm losing the weight, but I do it.
Are you cool with the boxing? Obviously you're 58, so you're in our age group. Are you cool with the path that boxing's going right now? Or do you see Dana White and UFC completely taking over that genre?
I see Dana White taking over that genre just because here's the difference for me and what I do as a casino host. When there's a big, and I love Floyd Mayweather and I love big fights. When there's a big fight, all my customers ask the same question: what time's the main event? When a UFC's in town, it's different. When do the doors open? Even if the main event sucks and they spend $1,000 on a ticket, they don't care because they knew so-and-so. Dana's done such a good job of marketing all the other little guys because you saw them on The Ultimate Fighter or one of Dana's shows. And so, there's just so many popular fighters. He's so good about promoting the person other than the brand, So you knew the Conor McGregor and Nick Diaz and Randy Couture. And, he did such a good job of marketing them on the TV shows and stuff. Dana, that's a smart guy.
Yeah, all right, sure. Steve, there's so many things that we need to talk to. One, we're going to talk to you, bring you back, talk about UNLV and how to get them back to where they were. We definitely want to talk to you.
The reason I wore this is, guys, how do we not have that facility is amazing. You've been there. Does UNLV not have a ranked football team? Do we need a coach? I don't know the answer. That's why I wore this to ask you that question.
Well, but we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk with you about it because we'll do some extra research. But I'm the same way too. I don't know how the basketball team isn't up in the top 20 either, as well. So, but the fact you had that on, and I know you're
in 1990 and 91, there were Krzyzewski and Tarkanian. We lost Tarkanian. What did our program do? Krzyzewski never went down. I mean, we got to get the coach.
Yeah, we need somebody like that. All right. Hey, we've been talking to Steve Sear, the top casino superhost in Las Vegas. His book is phenomenal. It's called The Whale Hunt in the Desert, Secrets of a Vegas Superhost. And really quick, who came up with that title?
Okay. Do you guys ever watch Seinfeld?
O'Hurley's been on O'Hurley's been on our show.
John O'Hurley, 100%. I wrote a treatment on Big Chief Tablet. This is the book story in a nutshell because my grammar's poor. And I mailed a copy to myself, poor man's copyright, and I mailed one to Random House. Crickets. It's 2002. I'm at the Hard Rock, 4 in the morning. I'm totally shit-faced with John O'Hurley because I'm his host, right? And O'Hurley, it's on my desk, and he picks it up and starts reading it. He goes, does this really happen? You got your leads out of the dumpster? I go, yeah, public domain, da-da-da. And then I called players. That's how I got my first whale. And he's like, well, what's Salina? And I go, Salina, Kansas, where I'm from. No one gives a shit about Salina. He goes, what do you call your big players? I go, high rollers. And I go, he goes, no, like your $1 million players. I go, whales? And he goes, resubmit it, call it Whale Hunt in the Desert. Book deal. At a house called Anthony Curtis, boom, we cut a deal. The guy that wrote Comp City, Max Rubin. All of a sudden, boom, next thing you know, I'm literally on the Monta Williams show, and he holds up the book. And we sell like 4,000 copies that hour, and that was edition 1.
See, and that's why we have O'Hurley on the show because he's going to sell our show too.
Man, I'm telling you, and Dancing with the Stars, he's a great guy. I'm his casino host too. He's a player. He'll fire.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Good.
Oh yeah. He's good. You know that John was my college roommate.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah. John and I, we go back over almost 50 years now. So yeah.
Oh.
So
he does one of the top 5 sporting shows all year, the Dog Show, right? I looked that up. That thing is unbelievable.
Absolutely.
I love him, and he's been really good to me. He's a really cool guy. When he was in Spam a lot, always, yes, we go out all the time. I love John. I didn't know you were his roommate.
Oh yeah. That's exactly it. All right. Hey, Steve, thank you so much. Again, the book is called Whale Hunt in the Desert, Secrets of a Vegas Superhost. Steve, we're going to have you on again. Thank you so much, buddy. Great interview. We had a fun time.
And if you ever want to get contact me, because I try to talk to everybody, steve@stevesear.com. CYR. I try to answer every email. I have a girl that helps me. And if you're in town, you want to book, the answer is yes. So. Cool. All right. Thanks, guys.
I'll take care of you, Steve, in the restaurant. Thanks, man.
All right.
I'll see you. Take care, buddy.
All right.
Thanks,
Bye.
buddy.
All right. Coming up, Fish and I are going to wrap things up, give you a sneak peek for next week. First, we want you to check out Hope for the Warriors. They have a big celebrity golf event coming up August 27th to the 29th. It's going to be in Wallace, North Carolina. That's near Wilmington. And Fish and I, we're planning on being there. Hope for the Warriors works with our military warriors who were wounded. They get them healthy so they're part of their families and their community. It's a great charity. It's a great event. Hope to see you there. That is hopeforthewarriors.org. Check them out. Folks, thanks for being with us. Remember, Daily Fish is live from Vegas and Myrtle Beach on Mondays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. We're on Facebook at daily.fish.5. Plus the Myrtle Beach Golf Channel, Myrtle Beach Grand Strand Live. Catch us on YouTube and Wingding TV. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, and Amazon. Write to us at dailyfish1@gmail.com. Oh my God, Steve Sear was so much fun. Isn't he fabulous?
You think I'm wound up? Yeah, great guy. I met him. He just said, who is your whale? I'll tell him. But before we get out of here, we got about a minute to go. We like to talk about great things that our alumni have done. Okay. And we talked about Eric Mathis and the Macabre. Look at this. Michael Shapiro's on the show twice. There's his June 23rd. I'll be there. I wish you could get John out there for that. That's his Reckless in Las Vegas billboard. He's got a residency at the great icon Sahara Hotel. Congratulations, Michael, from Daily Fish. We love you.
Absolutely. So excited for him. Absolutely looking forward to it. And of course, hopefully you'll get some video for it. We can pop it on the show. Hey, Fish, next week we're scheduled to have actress Romy Rosemont. She's in a ton of films, also TV shows, including Glee. So she's scheduled to be on. I know she's on a shoot now, but we're scheduling to have her on there. So looking forward to next week, buddy.
Me too, buddy. It was a great show. That social media thing with Heidi was fantastic. I can't believe how much social media has invaded our lives, and we always talk about it. You know.
Yeah.
Look at your phone. You're on. How many times you go on YouTube or Twitter a day, John?
Oh, I go once a week, maybe. That's about it. So, oh my
Great
God, I
show,
got this
everybody.
here. All right, pal.
Yeah.
Hey,
Good.
we'll see you next week, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Again, we'll check you next week, and look for the Daily Fish Hook in case we do one later in the week.
Thanks, guys. Love all you. Everyone be safe and healthy.